Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Grieving Sisters. Welcome back, actually.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in and for being with us this far.
Yeah, and really supporting us. Like, we really, we've come a long way. And I think you can kind of go back from episode 1 to this one. And it's not even that we didn't have chemistry. I also think like we're just getting more fluid with just talking about grief and being more acceptant.
Yeah.
Like having more acceptance.
I really hope that everyone is like catching on to the fact that this is not a doom and gloom.
Yeah.
We're just talking about death the whole time, because the reality is when you're dealing with grief and when you're dealing with trauma, all the things that you deal with when you're going through grief, those tools that you learn how to cope will also resonate in other places in your life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because there's so many different forms of grief,
And so many different levels of it. Like, and layers.
Right.
Layers and levels. Yeah.
So today we have something pretty interesting. We really try to give you a lot of resources and books.
Yeah. So
I hope y'all still read.
Or audiobook or listen or anything, right? Braille, something.
Yeah. So this book came up. It's A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis.
And he always has amazing quotes. Like, he's just like all over the place.
If you've been on Instagram or any sort of, thing where they share quotes, you'll see that there's just so many beautiful quotes from this person because they are so raw, right? So A Grief Observed is it's basically C.S. Lewis's raw personal account of his grief following the death of his wife, Joy, from cancer. This book is a deeply emotional journey that captures chaos, doubt, and the gradual healing that comes from profound loss. And like, why does it still resonate? It still resonates because it's not a guidebook, it's a mirror. It gives us permission to feel everything: despair, doubt, numbness, anger, even moments of peace, right? It's one of the most it's revered to be one of the most honest depictions of grief ever written, and still remains very relatable to anybody who has experienced loss. And I like particularly about this book is that it's not a guidebook. It's not like a step-by-step journal guidebook that's
solution.
Like, this is how you get through it. It's not solution-based.
Right.
It's really, really, really honest. And like, for example, like the opening line was like, no one ever told me that grief felt so like fear, right? And it's capturing the physical and emotional disorientation of grief.
So when I read that, first of all, how we got to this book, it's the most bizarre. Well, it's not even bizarre. Like, this is more alignment, like, again, right? And if people know me, I'm all for about like alignment, and I'm all about, just being in sync and purposeful and intentional. And I feel like this podcast was intentional. And every single time it's like, so I was like scrolling on Facebook, and then I took a screenshot. I said, "Hey, did you see this?" She goes, "Shut up." And I go, "What happened?" And she screenshot, and literally by like not even the minutes, we sent it to each other at the same time. And I was just like, all right, we have to talk about this book. But just that first thing that you were talking about, about bringing fear. So one of the first books I actually read in undergrad, and this is just in lieu with this book, and we're going to kind of dive a little deeper into this book. I actually read, and I always screw up his name, Thich Nhat. And he's more in the Buddha, in the Buddha sector. And he has a book called No Death, No Fear. And just really talks about how, like, there's no death, there's no fear. Like this, like, we still continue to go, the spirit continues to go on. So it kind of goes a little bit in depth in that. And then he also has in Buddha in Christ. So it's like even to try to combine both, I want to say like maybe the religious aspects, not so much the spirituality, but the religious aspects, that it's like you guys are saying the same thing, but just different formality.
He touches on
and he's a really big Christian. He's a very big Christian follower, and very religious when it comes to that. So that's like kind of the gist I got from reading the book.
And that's what I like too, because it was like faith-based but not faith-based. Like, you don't have to be like a devout Christian to like resonate with this book with grief.
And
like even that first, like, it says like him saying that, like, no one ever told me that grief felt so much like fear. He kind of breaks the mold of like what they call like sanitized expressions of grief.
Yes.
And I love that. Tidy or sanitized expressions of grief. Like, you know, we should really invite people who grieve to consider, like, what does your grief feel like? How does society make it hard to be honest about it?
Right. So I feel like even like that, again, right? It's like he hooks you in. He anchored you in. It's like, you know, like just to kind of let you know, like, hey, listen, we're first of all, we're all going to go through this. Like we're all going to do it, and don't fear it.
And him struggling with his religion too. Like there's a quote that says, "Where is God? Oof. A door slammed in your face."
So that was me. So I can go into my experience with that. So not very religious. I am much more spiritual, and a lot of people, they don't understand that concept.
Right.
Religion is like you're following from head to toe, you know, from beginning to end. With spirituality, I enjoy this because I'm not tied down to just one, and I'm open to hear for all because, because it's just, again, it's just a different teacher
And
teaching.
I just feel like you find it all fascinating. I think that you personally, as your friend, I think that you are just like, you're somebody who always appreciaits other cultures.
Oh, always.
Like,
since
should
kids.
we tell our Ellis Island? Did we ever tell our Ellis Island story?
We did not. I don't think so.
Did we talk
I think we just told
about it in the studio.
I think we just told Marvin about it.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about it on air.
No.
Oh my gosh, Ellis Island.
Very quickly, then we'll go back into the book. So we went to Ellis Island on a field trip as kids, and like, fucking, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade. Not even.
Yeah. Maybe. It was when Jerry Springer was on, and I brought the little radio because we wanted to listen to the chaos. Of radio, like listening radio to tune in.
And so we go to Ellis Island, and like you would pick your flag, right?
And they didn't have any of my flags. The Italian flag was out. The Irish flag was out. The Ghana flag, I don't even think they have it.
A lot of the African flags they didn't have.
They didn't have, which was really bizarre.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like I get it, like, but it's all about immigrants, so you would think that they would have that there.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
she's like, I don't know what to get.
And she was like, why don't you just get the Argentinian flag? And I was like, okay, it's pretty. I like the stars on it, and it's pretty.
So the sun.
The sun.
So she goes home with like her Argentina flag, and her mom is like, why do you have a flag of Argentina? And she's like, oh, because Elizabeth's from Argentina. And she's like, okay.
And now, no, mind you, like, we don't have like money like that.
Her mom is like Italian. So it's funny.
She's like, the Italian Irish. So she's
Italian
like, what do you
Irish.
mean? Like, you couldn't find a Canadian flag?
Yeah, like you couldn't get any Italian, any Irish flag?
Nothing.
No fucking ziti?
Nothing. No ziti.
So no fucking ziti.
Yeah.
The Sopranos quote, if you guys don't get it.
Yeah. So that's why, like, so I love anything I'm very open to that. So, and I love to read about it, and I'm all into it. Like, as much as they talk about the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the you know, you're Catholic and then you're practicing voodoo and all that.
That's what the book talks about. It's about that spiritual abandonment.
Yes. And then it's like you're questioning God. And I know that I went through that when my brother died. I was like, why so young? Why to me?
Right.
Why are you giving me such a hard life?
How could this make any sense?
It makes zero sense. And as I'm sitting there trying to find out, right? Like I'm getting cards read, lighting candles, whatever they're telling me to do. A pastor, make sure that you light a candle, so they're lighting the way, so he's getting to heaven and all this. And I was just kind of like, nah, like, there's something more. There's something more. So when I was reading that he was like facing the same thing, I was like, ooh. I was like, I felt like I kind of felt seen because I was like, wow, like I was questioning God. And then it was just like, and then just to kind of bring it back, so right before my brother died, my husband's birthday's the 2nd.
Right.
So he's been dying to see the Book of Mormon. And they have an entire scene saying, F you, God. And I was just like, nah. Like,
right.
I'm sorry not to kill it if nobody's seen it. I mean, it's been out for 10 plus years already.
I've never seen it.
It's
okay. I don't think I was going to.
No, I'll be honest, no.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh my God, it's hilarious. It's to die for it. I'm just like, no, you lost me when you're trying to say F you, God. Like, I have a problem with that.
Right.
Like, And why? But again, right, it kind of resonates a little bit like, where's God? Like, how are you giving us these diseases? How are you giving this? Why are you allowing people to die of cancer? Why are you allowing people to suffer and doing all of this? If there is a God, then why is this happening? So
I went through that, like, just watching Palestine.
Oh,
we can't even get into it.
No, don't open Pandora. That's a Pandora's box.
Get into it. But yes, I did question a lot. That. I'm just
like, why?
Because it's such a faithful people.
Right. And always to the good people.
Yeah. It's such a faithful people.
And so that one really like confronts the silence of God and the suffering. Yeah. Like, we like want
the author like wrestles with the feeling of abandonment by God. He talks about spiritual disorientation that comes with loss, how feeling distant from faith can actually be a part of a faithful journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And then another quote here, he says, he's talking about his wife. He said, her absence is like the sky. It's spread over everything.
When I say I felt that, I was like, was I ready to read this book? Yeah. I wasn't even ready.
It's true. Like, absence is like the sky. It's spread over everything. It's in everything you do. I mean, you remember those early months. Every single thing reminds you of your sibling.
Everything.
Every single thing. It was like, Natalie breathed. You know what I mean? It was like I just could. I mean, I never shut up about her when she was alive. I'm not going to shut up about her now, obviously.
Yes.
But in those, that feeling of grief where you go through this, like, everything reminds you.
Yeah.
Everything.
Every single thing. And especially like, cancer. So now, like, at least with my dad, I was able, and I said this in a couple of episodes, that I was able to see him transition and basically wither away. As with my brother and your sister, like, this was like tragic. It was like again, right, a gut punch to us, like to our heart, and like ripped our hearts out. But then it's like, well, we know that they're not going to be here forever.
Right.
But in the circle of life, it's like, no, we're supposed to be burying our parents. Like, we're supposed to be doing this together. We're not supposed to be burying them or cremating them or whatever they're doing, So I felt like he really touched on a lot of things, and like it kind of screamed out to me that I was like, again, like, was I ready for this book? I don't know.
You want to hear which one
got you?
Rocked me? Oh my God, it's here. Let me go.
Your glasses.
I can't see nothing.
When you're 40.
Oh my God, I know. This one was it for me. Talk to me about the truth of religion, and I'll listen gladly. Talk to me about the duty of religion, and I'll listen submissively. But don't come talking to me about the consolations of religion, or I shall suspect that you don't understand.
Ooh.
Because grief, this is like, the talking point that we had wrote, was like, grief often comes with spiritual anger. And this is how the author gives permission to feel and express that anger, even towards God. And this was really big for me because it's so interesting. The people in my Bible study and the people who are really in this walk with me never said like, oh, it's God's plan, and we,
oh my gosh.
They never. So it's interesting, right? Because it's like the people who don't really have that walk with faith will say things like that. Like, well, don't ever try to understand it because it's God's plan. It's not for us to understand.
And it's like, no, that's not.
And it's like, I'm not trying to understand it, but also you telling me that it's God's plan and somehow that's going to give me peace. I'll never have peace with this.
No.
Ever.
No.
I could be a nun. Like, I could be so close to God. I could be celibate for the rest of my life. Like, whatever. I will never be at peace with this.
No.
So it's like when he says like, talk to me about the truth of religion, I'll listen, right? Talk to me about the duty of religion, and I'll listen submissively, because that's a lot to do with religion, is surrendering, right? And I'm very big on that.
Yes.
I'm going to take my worries. I'm going to leave it at God's feet. Yeah. I'm going to submit. I'm going to let him always pray for God to order my steps.
Right.
But like, don't use religion as a consolation.
Right.
Like, oh, be with God and you're with God. And it's like,
no.
It's weird. The people who are in this walk with me don't say things like that.
Right.
It's just seen, support, love, pray over me.
All the things people would
are like
say.
Beautiful, beautiful things. Right.
The things that people would say, I'm just like, I was blown away because I'm just like, why would you? I'm like, okay, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of just be like, okay, no problem.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Right. Like I kind of want to like a nasty tongue, you know, like I kind of want to lash back at them.
Or it's the, when it's your time.
Are you kidding me? Like, oh, it's like, your time, so it's my time to punch you in the face.
Right, exactly.
Like, I'm gonna knock you out.
Oh, you know what they say? Like, when it's your time, it's your time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like...
And then they walk away. It's like one of those things. Exactly. Like, it's like they cropped us. Like, they farted.
Right, exactly. It's like, get that fucking stank out of here.
Seriously.
Like... Well, you know, when it's your time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but it wasn't her time.
No.
But I was robbed. But we were all robbed. We were like everybody was robbed from Shawnee and Nat. Like, everybody.
Literally, like, even their future children. Like, we don't know what their future held. Like, we have no idea what their future held. And it was like, so... It just I don't know,
but I like this part of the book where the author gives you permission to be angry at God,
right?
Because if you know this author, you know he is so dedicated to his faith, and he's such a believer in Christ, you know. But it's like he's like, yeah, you can be angry. Like, I lost my wife. Like,
So even I think the one that really also stuck out to me, because you said that he's like big in walking and with. So, you know, again, right, I have a lot of respect for everyone and anyone, whatever they follow. You know, I always say, like, you know, like I watch some of these, you know, some people who are really like in their faith and and I say, you know, I'm very jealous of that because I know that me as a person, I can't, because I need to keep my open mind to the others. So I don't ever want to shut that out. But like, you know, I get so jealous that they're so involved. They just love this, you know, whatever it is at this point in their religion, right? But what he said was, he said, I need Christ, not something that resembles him. And I was just like, dang. Like, you didn't have to do, like, you know, and that's also like kind of like a slap in the face to a lot of religious people, not just Christianity or Catholic or whatever. Like, this is a slap in the face.
Don't give me something that feels like it. Like, I need the real thing. Like, I need this right now. Yeah. I think that's like just some of the stuff that he, you know, just going through this book, I was like, again, you know, and I just to repeat myself, just to reiterate that I didn't know if I was ready for this. Like, a lot of the stuff was really, really intense, and I was like, okay, I like it, but it came up in our feed, and I was like, when you had said, like, I think it's time to bring on the book, and I'm like, let's do this, let's really talk about this, so like, and also because for a lot of our listeners, it's like, you know, we talk a lot about therapy, we talk a lot about coming on the podcast and doing this very brave thing that we're doing, you know, but some people are just not using other people
to lean on
to have their grief consoled, right? So it's like, maybe you just don't go to other people. I won't go to a therapist. I won't be a part of the podcast. I won't. But maybe just reading a book, maybe just holding on to this book and writing notes and crying into it, you know what I mean?
Well, that's like that, I forgot her last name, Megan something. It's called It's Okay to Not Be Okay. And there's actually a part of the book, I didn't read into it, I just kind of like, you know, looked through it, and it basically talked about, you know, like how she questioned God too. And it seems like that's like kind of like a theme, like she questioned God. And then I also read option B, for, a couple of friends of mine at work, they gave us the book, and I was reading it while I so happened to be in the Dominican Republic. This was only like maybe 3 months in. Again, right? We had these trips planned prior, and I'm reading this book, and I was just like, I can't do this right now. I just can't do this. And I had to like kind of put it, because it was, again, right, questioning why me, why them, why like this.
And it's such a natural thing.
Right.
I mean, it's even people like lose their job. Like, oh my God, why do I have to like go through this, losing my job and like worrying about my livelihood and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's true with every sort of trauma that you have, you're always like, why?
Right. And then he brings up the and to connect it, the loss of identity. Like the way that you lose your identity. And I think we talked about this in the last couple of episodes, that you know, like for me, like I looked at myself in the mirror, I couldn't even recognize myself, let alone to really, you know, start accepting the fact that he's passed. Like I've also lost, I don't want to say like, maybe it's innocence. Maybe that's the right word. Like the innocence of death. And I've lost that. Like it was ripped from me. And it's like, no, like you're going to get this raw and real in your face. And kind of that's like how it was written there.
Yeah,
you know?
it's very raw. Right. It's a raw reflection. It's not like any sort of guidebook. It's like very, very raw. I feel that too. Like my identity of being like the two sisters, it was such a big part of my identity. Like we would always send like sister stuff, sister. It was always, everything was like sister, sister, sister. And now I'm like, I'm an only child.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that.
Like I never, ever, 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 ever thought that both of my parents are living, thank God. But like when the time came, like I'm really alone.
Yeah.
Really alone
in this life.
I mean, it was always the 4 girls, like my 2 girl cousins and me and my sister. So I do feel like it was 4 of us. Now it's 3 of us.
Right.
But like your sister, like who has that connection with your mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck. And even on Instagram, I see funny things like me and my sister doing this. That's another thing.
Yeah. The
algorithm on all of my social media is so big on sisters.
Yeah.
Because all day we would send each other stuff like, you know, those funny memes that are like, you can't tell anyone. And then it's like, haha, me running and telling my sister, you know, like things like that.
Well, I still send like, because so they didn't shut down my brother's Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that I can put it on private, but to get in touch with someone on Instagram, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
But so he actually, like I would still send him stuff.
Yeah.
And I always like look to see like if it said seen.
That's so,
and even my
sweet,
WhatsApp, even my WhatsApp,
like keeping the
memory alive,
the memory and the relationship.
So even in my WhatsApp, like I archived his message because like I would send like sometimes pictures through there for him, and then I would just like I would start writing to him, and I'm like, I can't believe you left me, like because I knew that the police officer still had his phone, so I know that. You know, like if somebody did answer it, I would be like, all right, we got some issues here. Like what's going on?
Right.
But yeah, I have it archived. So sometimes when I'm scrolling too fast down, it comes up. Like I didn't delete his number from my phone.
We have a family chat and I will send it there and I'll be like, oh my God, Natalie would have loved this or Natalie would have laughed at this. Or, you know, and it's kind of all the same humor.
Sure. But that's why I still haven't deleted his phone number from my phone.
Right.
Or my dad either.
Yeah.
I did take them off my, like, because you know you can put favorites.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if
I did take my sister off my favorites.
Only because it's
too devastating to open your phone and see that
every single time.
Every single time.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I got to take this off. You know, but even on the thing, like, you know, when you put your phone on like do not disturb, if you favoritize them in such a way that they can get through. So like, so I had to
my daughter has that for me.
Yeah. I had to take him
I'm like,
off.
why are you on D&D? She's like, but you have whatever it is. Like,
you have the access. You know, these kids, they know everything. They know it all.
You still don't answer the damn phone.
Right.
So. I think the last quote, I'll do another quote.
Sure.
So the quote is, getting over it too soon.
Oof.
But the words are ambiguous. To say the patient is getting over it after an operation for appendicitis is one thing. Mm-hmm. After he's had his leg cut off is quite another.
Yes. When he talked about the amputation, I was like,
so true.
Yeah.
So it's like time doesn't fix grief.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it invites the discussion on how grief changes, but doesn't necessarily diminish.
No. And I think that, and it'll never will, like, right? Because now it's like, you know, my husband told me a quote, and we can wrap it up. He told me that he was listening to the radio, and Rosenberg was talking about his wife, and they lost their dog. They just had a baby and they lost the dog. And that he was reading some quotes, and one of the quotes was that, like, basically grief is like having rocks in your pocket, and you're still going to carry it with you. Although it's heavy, it's still always going to be with you. And I was just like, wow, you know, and I've heard a couple of people. So I was also trying to look for like who actually like wrote that quote, and you know, kind of give them their props where that is.
pocket metaphors, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's always
like you're
heavy.
always walking around with like a rock in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah. So, we want you guys to go out and go get the book. We would love to talk about it some more. Maybe start maybe we'll talk about a couple more books. Maybe we can even do that Megan
And if
book.
you have any recommendations, definitely drop them in the comments. I'm sure some of you have had some books. Also, there's some books that are just escape.
Yeah.
Right? Like I thought about reading the Twilight series. I love the movies.
I mean, why not?
But I was like, I thought about that. I actually thought about it for my daughter.
Yeah.
Because I put her on to Twilight. She's like, what's Twilight? I'm like, sit down right now and watch this. But like, I thought that's a nice, good escape.
Why
Let's
not?
read about werewolves and vampires. And so it's
an alternate reality.
These are also great resources, but maybe there is a book that somebody during grief read and it gave them like an escape to like another world.
Yeah. I think that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely drop them in the comments.
Yes,
and
thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
And YouTube and Apple Podcasts
and Spotify. We are there.
We're everywhere.
We out here. We out here.
We out here.
Thank you again.
Thank you.